So I think most investigators have a pretty good understanding that that as the molecular understanding of disease or oncogenesis is being better characterized, there are unique opportunities to leverage more selective and specific treatments that could potentially lead to not only just responses, but what I would say is unprecedented responses. The key is that we need to find a way to identify what are key drivers for a specific tumor. And this is actually much more difficult than most people realize. While there are a few notable exceptions, most of the tumors that we deal with are driven by multiple alterations in not only in different pathways, but also in alterations of genes that aren't necessarily related to mutation. So cancer is a very complex process, but there are these uniquely identified situations where we can find a specific molecular alteration that is part of the oncogenesis process. And when we find those and we're able to treat with a very targeted therapy that is specifically looking for interaction with that process, we see some of the most amazing responses. And I always like to highlight back to the time when gefitinib was brought into the GIST tumor space, and back in 2002. It appeared on Time magazine as the miracle drug, because this was a tumor driven by a specific alteration that was identified. And here, this incurable disease became curable in a large proportion of patients. So we've known that these exist. The problem is that the frequency is very low. And so what we need to do is to be smart about how we develop clinical trials to identify these types